got assurances on the standing filibuster, which is incredibly important. I don't know if you guys remember when I was talking about inherent contempt. A lot of people didn't know what that is. The standing filibuster is an old school parliamentary procedure, but it's a way to break through what we consider traditional norms to get voter ID passed. I think that it's brilliant that they came up with it, but exactly that's why we kind of have these discussions, and we're very happy about that outcome. So there should be a standing filibuster announced soon, and I would actually reach out to Senator Thun's office to ask him about that because they have different rules in the Senate.
So that'll get you to yes tomorrow on the rule.
Yeah, as of right now, we feel very comfortable where we're at based on what we are discussing.
Can I get your reaction to?
I mean, this is big news. This is massive news. You understand that, right? We could get the SAVE Act passed with 50 votes, not the 60. That means we get the SAVE Act passed. And if the SAVE Act gets passed, well, that means that we're going to have much more secure elections than we have had in recent memory. God bless them. I love the fight that we're seeing out of Anna Paulina Luna. It's unbelievable. It's massive. Tim Burchett as well. We salute those guys, and we are more than grateful for the fight that they're putting up for the American people. Not for the illegal aliens, but for the American people. Meanwhile, the Democrats are still going to continue fighting for those illegal aliens. It's a very unpopular position, by the way. Everybody knows it. I mean, everybody does. Voter ID is an 80-20 issue in the country. And if you don't believe me, I mean, maybe the leftists will believe CNN. CNN was asking the question last night, is voter ID controversial? Harry Enton, the big polling guy over there, said, no, it's not. Not controversial at all.
Photo ID to vote, and the American people are with Nicki Minaj, because what are we talking about here? So take a look here. Favor voter ID to vote. Look, I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
If you're looking at the numbers, you're not watching on the screen, this has only gotten more popular over time, needing ID to vote. And it just makes the most sense. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. 2018, it had 76% support. 2021, 76%. 2023, 76%. 2024, 81. 2025, 83. This is a massive 80-20 issue, another one that the Democrats are going to find themselves on the losing side of. They're going to say it's racist. They're going to say we're bigots, and we're going to look at them and say, once again, you're putting illegal aliens above American citizens. This is a massive win for the Republicans. Harry Enton continues.
About by party. What's the party breakdown?
Yeah, normally you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it. But not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. So
95% of Republicans favor voter ID. 71% of Democrats favor voter ID. Why again are the Democrats fighting against this? Does anybody know for sure? It's because Orange Man bad, right? Like that's the reason. Also, I think that a lot of these blue states that these politicians run understand that they have been propped up by the illegal aliens. That's just my opinion. But I truly believe that that's the case. And if you look at some of this data, it tends to support it. I mean, you've had a mass exodus of blue states, and all of those individuals are going to red states. They're already going to be losing representation because of it. And then if they can't have illegal aliens voting in elections, man, it's going to be a bit of a monkey wrench in the Democrats' plans for the midterms.
Today, I wanted to take a look at some long-term population trends that really should set off a flashing red siren to Democrats nationwide while bringing a big smile to the faces of Republicans nationwide. Why do I say that? Because take a look at the big population gainers versus the last census back in 2020. According to the latest population estimates that take into account the population mid-2025, look at this. The biggest population growth this decade? All 5 of the states that Donald John Trump won in 2024. Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, and of course the great state of Arizona, where I spent my New Year's Eve. I love those folks out in Prescott, Arizona. These were the biggest gainers. the biggest gainers in terms of population compared to the 2020 census. Now, it's not just a red state boom. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a red state boom here. But it is not just a red state boom. We're also looking at what I would dare call a blue state depression.
A blue state depression. It's not just that we're gaining population, it's that they're losing population. And they're not just losing population because everyday Americans are sick and tired of the leftist failed policies that we see in these blue states, but it's also because mass deportations are happening. You know, I read a thing, and I got to double check it, but I read it last night, and it said, you know, with the amount of deportations that they've had in Minnesota so far, they could lose a seat in the House. Oh, that's interesting. Harry Enton continues, though, on the blue state depression.
Because who are the people? Who and where are the people moving from into the red states? Well, they're blue states. They're blue states. Take a look here. The lowest domestic net migration this decade. All 5 of the states that were won by Kamala Harris in 2024. Look at this. California, Harris's home state. New York, where I'm coming from right now, of course. Illinois, New Jersey, and, of course, the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Is it that great? It's not that great.
Which is a bastion of blue liberalism. These are the states that folks in the United States are moving away from and into the red states, which is propelling a red state boom. Now, this is interesting, right? But it could also have major political ramifications if it holds for 2030, the next census. Because take a look here. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for the 2030 census, look at this. Look at the House seat shifts by state. Remember, of course, we apportion the number of House seats depending on the population in each state. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for 2030, states that Kamala Harris won, they would lose. They would lose 7 seats in the United States House of Representatives. The states that Donald Trump won in 2024, they would gain 7 seats.
Now, it's important to point out, as Harry Enton said, that's only if the population trends continue, if they hold, if they stay exactly as they are now. But we got 5 more years before the census, buddy. That's another 3 years of this Trump administration and mass deportations. That's gonna lose some bodies for the census. That's another few years of failed Democrat policies. That's going to cause some people to move. Remember, they just elected a moderate Democrat in Virginia and a moderate Democrat in New Jersey. And those moderate Democrats have quickly raised taxes. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you raise taxes on people, they go, you know, I don't really like it around here anymore. Not a huge fan of this. More people are going to leave more blue states. More illegal aliens are going to be deported from more blue states. This trend really does highlight why we're seeing the thrashing and gnashing of teeth from the Democrats when it comes to everything that Donald Trump is doing on immigration enforcement. They understand that they need warm bodies to keep their House seats. And they're losing them. They're losing them fast. And if voter ID comes in on top of this, oh my gosh, this is a recipe for disaster for the Democrats. Yesterday, we played a clip of Mike Johnson. He's like, I'm rather bullish on the midterms. And you know what? If we can get the SAVE Act in there, and that comes to pass very soon, I'm going to be bullish on the midterms as well. And then moving forward in this country, you might witness a scenario where it's going to be increasingly difficult for the Democrats to ever gain power again. We got to keep foots on the gas, boots on the necks, and we got to keep fighting for this. Luckily, we have some good conservatives up there in D.C. that are doing that job. Shout out to Anna Paulina Luna and our own Tim Burchett on their commitment to getting the SAVE Act passed. We got a lot more to talk about on the way. Donald Trump was in the Oval Office yesterday. He signed a new executive order. You've heard of the Strategic Petroleum Reserves, but have you heard of the Strategic Rare Earth Mineral Reserves? This is a big piece of news and something that went down yesterday. We'll talk about it when we get back. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Shane is a great guy, a smart guy, and he can help you get the best insurance for you, your family, and your business. If you're overpaying for insurance or you don't have any right now and you're thinking that you have to wait for open enrollment, that's wrong. That's just what the big guys want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today with no waiting and no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, Cover Nash has you covered. You're just sick of overpriced junk insurance? You're in the right place. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options. We're talking deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care, physicals, colonoscopies, not that you're excited, but the works. Plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, even small businesses. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. You're not. Call Shane Ring today, 615-465-0023. If I'm a betting man, Shane's at his desk right now waiting for your call. 615-465-0023. Health insurance on your terms, not the government's. Go to covernash.com.
Coming up, the House is set to vote today on a spending package that would end the shutdown. Also, 2 girls rescued after being abducted by a groomer they met on Roblox. The story coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Okay, I was going to do the Trump thing, but now I'm off on a tangent. If you're a parent or a grandparent out there, why on earth would you let your kids on the platform Roblox? How many times have we talked about this on the show? It is the #1 place on the internet for groomers and pedophiles. Hundreds of millions of monthly users. The games are insane. Public bathroom simulator? What are you doing? Honestly, if your kids want to play video games, I'm not against it. I'm not. Get them an N64. Get them a Game Boy Color. Get them something classic where the game was the game. And you didn't have to worry about them frying out their dopamine receptors and pedophiles luring them into chats and taking them off the platform and then meeting them in public. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. At this point, if you're a parent and you're letting your kid be on Roblox, it's almost like abuse. Like we're teetering towards abuse. There is so much information out there that Roblox is a disastrous platform on so many levels for these kids. Even before we get to the pedophilia and the grooming, it's not good for these kids. Sorry, John.
Amen. That was well said, Chris.
I just... Yeah. Like, how? Like, ignorance is not an excuse anymore.
Right.
It's just not, especially when it comes to your kids. Do the damn research. Figure out what they're doing. Hover over their shoulder, like, or don't let them on the internet at all. I don't know if you noticed this. That's an option.
Yeah.
That's an option. And also, every time you put a screen in front of your kids, you're stealing a little bit of their childhood. Like, just so you know that. Like, we get such a limited time with these kids. And you're going to give them a screen so you can stare at your screen. I'm not preaching from an ivory tower. I spend too much time on my phone as well. And I've teetered between this balance of like, okay, I do work from home. Do I want to be downstairs around the kids while I'm doing this work? Or should I be upstairs doing the work? And I get it. It's a balance. But keep your kids off these platforms. Please, please keep them off these platforms. The platform should be shut down. I digress. Can't wait for the news story, John.
What a buildup.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It infuriates me. Every time I hear a story and it leads back to Roblox, I'm like, we knew about this. You knew about it. And talk to your kids' parents. Hey, my kid's coming over. I don't do the iPads. No iPads while they're over here, or it's the last time they come over. Be an adult.
Yes.
Sorry. Donald Trump established a strategic rare earth mineral stockpile. This is an unbelievable story. This is an eye towards the future. He'll probably be mocked for it like he was mocked for the Space Force. And do you know what the most important branch of our military is right now? Spoiler alert, it's the Space Force. This is a massive deal. We'll talk about it after the headlines with Joan Jones, as long as I don't get too infuriated and go on a Roblox tirade again. Not saying that won't happen. 9:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, the House is set to vote today on a massive funding package that would bring an end to the partial government shutdown that began at midnight on Friday.
The House moving ahead with a measure to end the partial government shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We passed the SAVE Act twice in the House. We'll pass it again. We'll do that. But this is a funding package right now, and I don't think we need to be playing games with government funding. We still have winter storms. We've got FEMA and TSA and troop pay and everything else wrapped into this, so we've got to get the job done.
The House Rules Committee last night approving the funding package passed by the Senate. It's expected to come up for a vote in the full House this afternoon.
ABC's Sherry Preston there. A Lebanon woman has been charged with animal cruelty after a dog was found dead in an outdoor kennel in her backyard, along with 4 other surviving dogs. Police called the city's animal control officers to the scene. They determined that dog died due to the freezing temperatures. The other dogs had no food and their water was frozen. 66-year-old Angela Hall arrested and their surviving dogs removed. They'll eventually be put up for adoption. A suspect in custody in the alleged kidnapping of 2 Florida sisters who police say were groomed for months on the online gaming platform Roblox.
2 young sisters are back home after being kidnapped by a man authorities say they met on the popular gaming platform Roblox. Police saying these sisters, ages 12 and 15, met this 19-year-old man on Roblox before moving communication over to Snapchat, where he allegedly spoke to them for months.
ABC's Victor Akendo there. That suspect traveled more than 1,500 miles from Omaha, Nebraska to Indiantown, Florida. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. Much like all of Nashville, the Glock Store was out of power all last week. You've heard of working by candlelight. These poor guys had to work by muzzle flash all week long. It was a tough go, but they made it through. Power's back on, and so is the Glock Store. The retail showroom and the Shoot 270 indoor ranges are open for business and ready to offer some incredible deals during the Great Ice Storm of 2026 sale. The deals include the new Glock GTL2, weapon lights for less than $155, 43X magazines for under $19, the Savior Specialist range bags in the limited edition Desert Night and Tiger Stripe camo are in stock and on sale, and there's much, much, much more. And the brand new M1X Coyote frames are also now in stock and ready for immediate pickup. And yes, don't forget, the deal's still going on. When you pre-order your Gen 6 Glock and you mention my name, say you heard it on the Chris Hand Show, you'll get a free extra mag when you pick it up. That's my friends at the Glock Store, all powered up and ready for business. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com. 937, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, and you can listen to it anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us as well. Up and running, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. We appreciate you joining the show. However you're joining the show, you're welcome to interact. The chat is jumping on YouTube as always. The text line and the phone line is open. Same number for both, 615-737-9986. Donald Trump yesterday, once again, He puts on display that he's not just thinking in 2-year, 4-year cycles. He is thinking for the future of this country. And he laid down a new program yesterday that was unbelievable. Trump is establishing a $12 billion critical mineral stockpile for rare earth minerals to reduce reliance on China. He made the announcement inside the Oval Office yesterday.
Disruptions. Today we're launching what will be known as Project Vault to ensure that American businesses and workers are never harmed by any shortage. We don't want to ever go through what we went through a year ago. Just as we, although it did work out, thank you. Just as we have long had a strategic petroleum reserve and a stockpile of critical minerals for national defense, we're now creating this reserve for American industry so we don't have any problems. This historic initiative will combine $10 billion in export-import bank financing with $2 billion in private sector financing, and we even expect the American taxpayer to make a profit from the interest on the loan used to start the Project Vault. It's an amazing thing. They've been talking about it for years. Other presidents did a lot of talking, but they didn't do anything.
Isn't that so true? I mean, let's talk about that with everything when it comes to Donald Trump. They all do a lot of talking. None of them seem to do it. Donald Trump gets it done. So, formerly known as Project Vault, it will take $1.67 billion in private capital and $10 billion as part of a loan from the Export-Import Bank to obtain and store minerals for automakers, tech firms, and other companies that need access to rare earths. Reports have compared the idea to the country's emergency oil stockpile. Project Vault would obtain rare earth metal elements, such as gallium and cobalt, which is used in iPhones, batteries, jet engines. More than a dozen companies, including General Motors, Stellantis, Boeing, Corning, and Alphabet Inc.'s Google, will participate in the project. Trump is going to meet with General Motors chief executive Mary Barra and mining billionaire Robert Friedland. Commodities trading firms, Hartree Partners, Traxys North America, and Mercuria Energy Group would help manage the procurement of raw materials for the strategic stockpile. Bloomberg said this about it. The U.S. already operates a national stockpile of critical minerals to serve the defense industrial base, but doesn't have a stockpile for civilian needs. Under Trump, the U.S. has also taken the rare step of investing directly in domestic minerals companies to boost production and processing of rare earths at home. Donald Trump is not going to sit on his hands and wait around for a disaster before he decides to fix something. Donald Trump is not NES. He's not going that route. He's going to look to the future, and he's going to get in front of it. The administration has already inked cooperation agreements with Australia, Japan, Malaysia, and other countries on the issue. It will press even more nations to pursue such pacts during a summit of a dozen countries set to take place in Washington on Wednesday. President Trump continues to push American manufacturers and consumers first. Project Vault will ensure that critical minerals are available to keep prices low and supply chains running smoothly, even in times of uncertainty. Taylor Rogers, the White House Assistant Press Secretary, said. Donald Trump continued inside the Oval Office.
Over the past year, my administration has taken extraordinary steps to make sure the United States has all of the critical minerals and rare earths that we need. We're investing in mining projects. We're expediting federal permitting. The federal permitting, and a lot of it is Lee Zeldin, who's been fantastic, but federal permitting is such a big deal, and we're doing that. The permitting of mines and signing major critical mineral deals with countries from all over the world, and we're getting along with all of them, every one of them.
Again, this is just another example of Donald Trump not waiting around. Donald Trump having a plan and executing it. People act like Donald Trump is just a wild madman who just flies off the handle and does things on a whim, and that is not the reality. In actuality, he actually wants to make sure that this country is safeguarded for years to come, even post-Trump presidency. Scott Bessent was also inside the Oval Office and said that the $12 billion stockpile of rare earth minerals is to guard against who? Well, it's to guard against China. Maybe you've heard of them.
Sir, as you always say, economic security is national security, and a country does not have sovereignty if we don't have control over our critical minerals, don't have control of our steel production and our industrial base. And thanks to the work of everyone here through your leadership, this was a public-private partnership that only you could have assembled, and we are taking back our sovereignty, and we are going to have this Vault project, a strategic mineral reserve, and I can't tell you how innovative and exciting this is, and the level of security it is going to give us going forward is phenomenal.
Once again, it's amazing how much difference a president can make. Biden drained our strategic petroleum reserves. Trump is refilling them. Biden probably couldn't have told you what a critical rare earth mineral is. Donald Trump is creating a stockpile. These two administrations are not the same. I don't need to explain it to you, but this is something that is massive. This is an eye to the future. This is safeguarding America, and this isn't going to get any play on any of the major news networks. It just won't, because it makes Trump look confident, smart, and ahead of the curve. They can't have that. They can't have that. While he was announcing this inside the Oval Office, Donald Trump also stopped down to take some questions from the press. He was asked about the government shutdown. He said that he's pretty sure that there's a resolution on the way and that we don't have to spend too much time worrying about it. I would imagine that the Democrats understand that they took the L the last time. However, never underestimate a Democrat's ability to mess something up. But this is Donald Trump on the partial government shutdown we are witnessing right now and what it looks like in the coming days.
Government shutdown.
Yeah, please.
On the government shutdown, do you think there could be a resolution of this issue? And have you gotten assurances from House Republicans?
Well, I spoke with Speaker Johnson. I spoke with Leader Thune. And I think they're pretty close to a resolution. You know, we were at 5.6% GDP, and we lost 1.5 points because of the 42-day shutdown. Think of that. We would have been at 7. Nobody ever saw a number like 7. And I think, Howard, probably 1.5 points was the number, right?
1.5 for the shutdown. Exactly right.
You lost 1.5 points on the last shutdown. This is one of the reasons why I think the Democrats might be inclined to go for a shutdown. It'll hurt the economy. Maybe that helps them come the midterms. You know, they've run away from the affordability talking point. They've run away from talking about the economy. Why is that? Is it because it's doing good? I think it might be because it's doing good. I think that's partly the situation. And it's doing good despite the lack of the Federal Reserve cooperating with the Trump administration. He was asked about Tom Tillis' demand to drop the DOJ investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. You know, they're investigating him because what's his project over? Their upgrades at the Federal Reserve building. It's like $2 billion over budget. So they're investigating it. Everybody wants to know, why are you that much over? And I'm not exactly I'm not 100% on the numbers, but I had them before, but I don't have them in front of me. But the project is way over budget, way behind schedule. And a lot of people look at this and go, well, that's fraud. That's got to be fraud. You have Donald Trump, who's a construction guy, and he goes and looks at this project, and he's like, yeah, this doesn't pass the sniff test. So they've opened up an investigation into the Fed. Senator Tom Tillis has asked the Trump administration to drop that investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He was asked about that inside the Oval Office.
Questions, please.
Mr. President, speaking of the Fed, would you like to see Jeanine Pirro drop the investigation into Chairman Powell to help? Senator Tillis has basically said that, you know, he's not going to really be working with the administration.
He's not a senator very soon.
Did you catch that? That's why he's not a senator very soon. Yikes.
No, she's going to take it to the end and see. Like, you're doing a small renovation, and they've spent almost $4 billion doing a small renovation. I'm doing buildings. I built a hotel, the Waldorf it's called, and I did it for around $200 million. It's a much bigger job. They're spending almost, it could be $4 billion. I'll tell you what, I don't even see an end in sight. I feel badly for the new Fed chairman because he may not have an office for 4 years. I don't know what these people are doing. So it's either gross incompetence or it's theft of some kind or kickbacks. I don't know what it is, but Janine Pirro is incredible, and she'll figure it out. But no, you want to take it and just find out what happened, because we can't go around doing a renovation of a small little complex, very small, couple of little buildings, and spend billions and billions of dollars on it. Something went wrong. We have to find out what it was. Yeah, please.
If you can't trust the guy with a renovation project, should we trust him as the chair of the Fed? I mean, let's be perfectly honest. I don't think so. They said Tom Tillis wants you to drop the investigation. So that's why he's not going to be a senator much longer. Roasted. Absolutely roasted. The president was also asked about crypto. Donald Trump has long said that we need to be the leader in crypto. And if we're not the leader in crypto, you know who's going to be the leader in crypto? China.
Crypto person. I'm the one that probably helped crypto more than anybody because I believe in it. And the reason I believe in it is because if we don't do it, Scott, I think we can say then China's going to do it, right?
Yes, sir.
If we don't do crypto, then China's going to do it. And it's just like AI. We're leading AI by a lot. And if we weren't leading, China would have led. You know, they're very capable. They're very good. What do you have to say about that?
I agree with the president on both fronts, on the crypto and on the AI. But the crypto stuff has been weird. With the Epstein file drop, 3 million documents, Bitcoin has been a big topic of conversation because of that on the internet. According to the latest release, Epstein funded $500,000 to Adam Black, who was hinted as the Bitcoin creator by the legend Pat McAfee. No, not Pat McAfee. That's the ESPN guy, McAfee. John McAfee? Why am I blanking on his name? The McAfee guy. Is it John McAfee?
I think it's John.
I think it is. All I have is visions of Pat McAfee on ESPN in my head. So anyway, it was hinted that Adam Back created Bitcoin. And it was also hinted and revealed in the Epstein files that Epstein funded $500,000 of this guy. And there's a lot of comments on the internet. I don't know if you've heard of Dan Pena. Dan Pena said, if you really knew who was behind Bitcoin, this is years ago. He said, if you knew who was behind Bitcoin, you would run from Bitcoin as fast as humanly possible. He said that if it came out who created Bitcoin, it would drop to $0 that day. Yikes. He uses a lot more colorful language than we're allowed to use on the air. I'll play you that Dan Pena clip inside the commercial break when we stop down. All right. So if you're watching us on YouTube or on Rumble, you'll get that during the commercial break because the clip is fantastic and it's definitely worth some investigation and it piques the curiosity. How many pots did Epstein stir? You know, I mean, it's a question we all have. President Trump was also asked about body cams for ICE agents. This was his reaction to that.
Kristi Noem just announced that you're deploying body cameras to Minneapolis. What's your thinking behind this decision, and do you want to see this?
Well, it wasn't my decision. I leave it to her. They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening. So it's generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement. But if she wants to do that, I'm okay with it.
I'm a huge fan of body cameras on ICE agents. Just to be perfectly honest with you, we all saw during the Summer of Love the demands for body cams. That was one of the big demands. We have to get body cams. And what happened? It completely backfired on the activist crowd. And it really showed what police are up against. And on many, many, many occasions, it cleared law enforcement of any wrongdoing. It keeps the cops more honest, and it keeps them from being lied on by these agitators and these protesters and these civilians. I'm a huge fan of body cameras on ICE agents, and I think that it'll only prove that the job that they're doing is as hard as we say it is, and that they're doing the best damn job that they can. 9:51, it's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I had mentioned a moment ago, we'll be going live on the YouTube stream during the commercial breaks. I want to play you that Dan Pena clip where he's talking about Bitcoin, and if you knew who invested in it, you would run away. It lends a little bit of credence to the rumors that maybe Jeffrey Epstein was behind the launch of Bitcoin. I don't know for sure, but I do find it interesting. We'll talk about that during the commercial break exclusively on the stream because it's a bit more colorful language than I'm allowed to play on the air. And by a bit more, I mean like a whole heck of a lot. Way too much. We'll play that on the YouTube stream for you. We got a lot more on the way on the radio side. Hang out with us. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. If you see me on Instagram, I post about Zero Res from time to time. And one of the things that I like to say is your carpets are gross. They are. Your carpets are nasty. And I'm not talking from an ivory tower. I've been there before. 4 kids, 2 dogs. My carpets get disgusting. Let's be perfectly honest. But we got an ace in the hole. It's my friends at Zero Res. They are the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. It means the carpets are going to look clean, but they're going to even stay clean longer. The kids can roll around. The dogs can spread out. We don't have to worry about what's in the fibers. And it's not just carpets. They'll do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. It's perfect if your house gets a little chaotic from time to time with all the kids and all the pets like mine does. It's perfect if you just want to spruce things up before company comes over. Call my friends Zero Res today. You'll get a great deal on a bunch of rooms in your house. 615-535-9376. That's 615-535-9376. Or you can always book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun. Please play responsibly. Sell your home with the guaranteed offer.
All right, hey, welcome back to the stream. I am very excited to play you this clip, and then I got some emails that I wanted to show you. There's emails from Epstein to Epstein about investing in Bitcoin in the new Epstein files. Okay, and there's a couple emails that make you believe that he fronted $500,000 to help get Bitcoin started. I don't know if it's true or not, but with these new revelations and the Epstein files, this old clip of Dan Pena has started circulating the internet again. And with the information that we have from the Epstein files, it does lead one to wonder if he was talking about Jeffrey Epstein in this clip. Here, listen to this.
If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
In a microsecond. Vroom.
In a microsecond. Vroom. Do you own Bitcoin? I feel like I missed the boat on Bitcoin. I feel like I should have invested a long time ago, so I don't own any Bitcoin. But if you own Bitcoin, especially you guys in the YouTube chat, if anybody does it change your calculation on how long you might want to hold on to that Bitcoin? Just curious. Let me know, and I'll read your comments. We're going to rejoin radio. We'll catch you guys on the other side. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe. Thank you.
Coming up, we've got the latest details on a marina fire at Percy Priest Lake. That's coming up here at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Have you seen the videos of that on the internet?
Yeah, crazy, right?
It's bananas.
Yeah.
How does that start?
It started in a houseboat. So apparently there were people living in a houseboat under that big cover, and their boat caught fire. And, everybody's boats are docked next to each other, so it just spreads so quickly.
If you're watching us on Super Talk TV, I have video of the fire going on right now. Elm Hill Marina, that's where we did our big debate party, right?
Oh.
With Kamala versus Trump. There's video of the fire on the YouTube stream. It doesn't look good. You get insurance on those things, right? Do you get fire insurance on a boat?
It's likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I'm not exactly up to boat level money yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not in that tax bracket anywhere.
It's coming, guys. It's coming.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I might be in canoe territory soon. I think that's about as high as I can get.
Yeah,
currently.
I think I'm still in driftwood territory right now.
I'm going paddleboard.
I'm like broken off door on the Titanic territory. That's kind of where I'm at financially. Hey, on the way, I got some more comments from President Trump inside the Oval Office. Plus, no one is above the law. You guys are familiar with that. Hakeem Jeffries is very upset that ICE agents are wearing masks, but he also won't vote to expel a Democrat who was indicted for stealing $5 million worth of FEMA money. No one's above the law unless they got a little D next to their name. It's 10 o'clock. We'll talk about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There are still nearly 19,000 Nashville Electric customers in the dark this morning, and it comes as TEMA has upped the death toll to 25 now in the wake of that storm. Meantime, Metro Water Service is also a concern. Deputy Director Brent Freeman saying that water quality in Nashville remains safe, and every pumping station and reservoir are still operating. But as things thaw out, water main breaks have become an issue.
We have adequate capacity to address all of these breaks. We have repair crews that are assigned to every break, and we have crews on standby, and we have contractors that are available to step in and assist as needed.
There is a devastating fire at Elm Hill Marina at Percy Priest Lake this morning. Started in a houseboat. Nashville fire officials saying it began about 6:50 this morning. The flames spread, however, to the docks and to the nearby boats, which were also docked under the cover of a steel roof.
Now, they have tried to get those boats out, but the heat started to twist the steel, making it difficult for them. We're told right now about 18 to 20 boats may be impacted. They are having more boats come in to help out, put out those fires.
That's News 2's Jaxie Pigeon. Now, some of the other boats were set adrift to save them. The occupants of the houseboat that started it all, they were able to escape, and they are all safe today. Still no sign of Nancy Guthrie. She's the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
New details overnight in the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Authorities now saying they believe the 84-year-old was abducted from her Arizona home early Sunday, kidnapped while she was sleeping.
To be in your own bedroom, in your own bed, safe and secure in your own home, and to be taken like that in the middle of the night, that is not Tucson. She did not leave on her own. We know that.
The sheriff says they're now waiting for test results on DNA samples collected at the scene.
That's ABC News. Their police are saying that blood was found inside the home, and that's why it's being considered a crime scene. The sheriff saying this morning they do believe that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. Soccer is going big time in Nashville after Geodis Park was selected to host soccer matches in the 2028 Olympics.
Nashville is one of 6 U.S. cities selected to host Olympic soccer matches. The others, New York, Columbus, St. Louis, San Jose, and San Diego. Final matches will be played at the Rose Bowl Stadium.
News 2's Peyton Kennedy there. Now, if you'd like to attend the games, you can register at tickets.la28.org. Again, it's tickets.la28.org. Do that by March 18th for the opportunity to purchase those tickets during the first ticket drop, which happens in April of 2026. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Have you heard the story? The House Ethics Committee finding substantial evidence of fraud. Charges against Florida Democrat Rep. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. She's been indicted for siphoning FEMA funds for her campaign. We've talked about this before. She bought a big fancy diamond ring with some of the stolen money, and in the new promo material that she's put out, she has photoshopped the big fancy ring off of her finger. We hear so often from Democrats that no one is above the law until it happens to be a Democrat, and then the tune changes completely. We've seen this before with Gold Bar Bob Menendez, who was cooperating with a foreign government, Egypt, and giving them intel. They let him keep his seat until he was indicted. And now we're dealing with the same thing from the Democrats. Meanwhile, and I think it's important to point out, we had to expel Santos before he was found guilty of anything because, we're Republicans and we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And we decreased our majority. We got rid of him. And for what? The Democrats don't play fair. Hakeem Jeffries was asked about Sheila McCormick, who was indicted for defrauding FEMA of $5 million. He was asked about her yesterday. He was asked, will you vote to expel her?
Direct Stubbe plans to force a vote to expel Congresswoman Shirley McCormick this week, who has been, indicted for allegedly stealing federal funds. What is House Democratic leadership's stand here? Are you opposing this effort and standing, I guess, with Shirley McCormick?
Yeah, I mentioned on Friday that Congresswoman Shirley McCormick is entitled to the presumption of innocence, like every other American. I'm a hard no as it relates to the effort to expel her, and it's going to fail.
I'm a hard no. You're innocent until proven guilty. That is, unless you happen to be a conservative, one of those right-wing extremists, one of those ultra MAGA guys, then you're out. Then you're out. I don't think George Santos was any of those things, but he was a Republican, and we had to expel him immediately. We couldn't wait. He wasn't allowed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. But you see, the difference here is Sheila is a Democrat. Got it. Even Democrat publications are like, this lady is not on the up and up. Politico. A panel of House lawmakers found substantial evidence that Rep. Sheila McCormick, who's facing federal fraud charges, committed conduct outlined in the indictment against her. The investigative subcommittee under House Ethics found violations of campaign finance laws and regulations, criminal laws, the Ethics in Government Act. That's hilarious. The Ethics in Government Act. The Code of Ethics for Government Service, and House rules. The Florida Democrat has already been indicted for siphoning FEMA funds for her campaign, taking part in a straw donor scheme and tax fraud. The ISC's investigation has revealed substantial evidence of conduct consistent with the allegations in the indictment, as well as more extensive misconduct laid out in the following statement of facts in support of alleged violations related to violations of federal law and regulations, as well as ethical standards, a report from the investigative subcommittee said. Hakeem Jeffries is a no-go on expelling this woman.
McCormick is entitled to the presumption of innocence, like every other American. I'm a hard no as it relates to the effort to expel her, and it's going to fail.
Hey, how do you guys like the idea of Speaker Jeffries? That's where we're headed if we don't get things under control before the midterms. That's what we're looking at if we don't get the SAVE Act passed and codified into law. You guys understand that, right? Everybody understands that. Speaker Jeffries, Timu Obama. A lawyer for Shirley McCormick, Michael Stroud, responded to panel lawmakers by requesting that they pause their proceedings while the criminal case plays out and dismiss the investigation that began in June, saying Representative McCormick disputes and refutes the allegations and report of the Ethics Committee Investigation Subcommittee. Stroud wrote to the panel. Stroud did not immediately return a request for comment. The subcommittee reviewed over 33,000 documents, conducted dozens of interviews, issued 59 subpoenas, and met 12 times. Although initially cooperative, McCormick ultimately invoked her Fifth Amendment right as right against self-incrimination. She went full Chappelle. She went, I plead the fifth. That's what she did. And Hakeem Jeffries is going to be holding water for her as long as he can.
McCormick is entitled to the presumption of innocence, like every other American. I'm a hard no as it relates to the effort to expel her, and it's going to fail.
No one's above the law unless you happen to be a Democrat. Now, we hear no one's above the law over and over and over again until it's turned towards the Democrats, and then it's like, whoa, slow down, buddy. You can't be going after your political enemies. CNN was forced to report that the Department of Justice is poised to reinvigorate investigations into corrupt individuals that politically targeted President Trump. This went down yesterday, and you'll hear CNN through their teeth having to report these details. Let's listen in. This was CNN yesterday.
New today, a source tells CNN the Justice Department is poised to reinvigorate probes into officials who investigated President Trump. According to someone familiar with the plan, the DOJ's weaponization working group is expected to meet today and then every day after that.
Attorney General Pam Bondi started the group last year to root out what she called politicized justice under the Biden administration. CNN's Paula Reed has some new reporting on all of this. So, Paula, what are you learning about this group and these meetings?
The Justice Department is clearly eager to turn the page after Friday's release of additional Epstein documents. So today they're going to meet to try to reinvigorate this group that, as you noted, the Attorney General laid out the mission for this group when she first got into office, and she laid out about 7 areas that she wanted to focus on.
Real quick, though, who's turning the page on the Epstein documents? Who? The Department of Justice just dropped 3 million files. You are welcome to dive into them at your leisure. Now, I want some criminal charges. I think that we need a huge commission to go into Epstein and dive into it and find more info. Get us a list of clients, get us a list of those who were blackmailed, and I think that would be doable. But I don't think anybody's turning the page. I think one thing that we've learned from the Trump administration over the last year and during his first term is that they can walk and chew gum at the same time. They can do 2 things at once. This isn't a Biden administration. That being said, I'm excited to see where this weaponization of government task force goes, and they are meeting again, as CNN reports, to say that they're focusing on 7 key areas.
Include all of the prosecutors who investigated Trump while he was out of office. These are pet issues for him. We know the president has admonished Justice Department officials for not delivering on more of these kinds of investigations. There's also some issues that are important to Republicans at large. They have a lot of questions about things that happened in the Biden administration, including what they allege was discrimination against Catholics, a memo that went out trying to protect school boards from threats from parents, what they allege are actions taken against anti-abortion activists.
All of that is true. Like, I mean, they called parents domestic terrorists. They infiltrated Catholic churches, and they threw the book at people protesting abortion. Why are they acting like none of this actually happened and that it's all a figment of the Trump administration's imagination?
And certain protections for whistleblowers. These are pet Republican issues. This is
pet Republican issues? These are pet Republican issues. No. These are big issues. This is what we were up against under the Biden administration. We were all domestic terrorists. You cared about your kids not having boys in their girls' locker rooms? Well, then you're a domestic terrorist. You cared about the sanctity of life and had the audacity to pray inside an abortion clinic? Well, you're a domestic terrorist. This is a pet Republican issue.
This is what the group was supposed to focus on, this long list of stuff. But after a year, they haven't produced anything publicly. And again, they are under a lot of pressure for the White House. So they're expected to meet today, meet every day with the goal of delivering something on one of these 7 priorities in the next few weeks.
The only thing I'll agree with her there is that after a year, they have done nothing. I mean, that's it. That's the main agreeing statement that I have there. Yeah, after a year, we don't have much fruit. We don't have much fruit. That doesn't mean it's not on the way. The wheels of justice turn slowly. We'll see what happens. No one's above the law unless you're a Democrat, right, Hakeem? Right. But speaking of Hakeem Jeffries, did you see Byron Donalds? He went after Hakeem Jeffries. You know, Hakeem has been calling ICE Nazis. He's been threatening to hold up the government shutdown because he wants to defund these Gestapos and these ICE Nazis. Byron Donalds wasn't playing around when it came to Hakeem Jeffries the other day. Listen to this.
Look, let me be very clear. Number one, Leader Jeffries sounds like a clown right now as far as I'm concerned. What he's saying is actually making no sense. The truth of the matter is that ICE has been trying to do their job. And if it wasn't for Democrat leaders who were fomenting an organized protest organization that was taking pictures of these officers, trying to dox these officers, trying to go after their families, all these things have occurred, then they wouldn't have to cover their faces to protect their identity and to protect their families. That's one. Number two, and let's also be very clear, I didn't hear Hakeem Jeffries say a damn thing when there were young women in America who were being raped and murdered by criminal illegal aliens that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and he led into the country with impunity. They said nothing, while House Republicans wanted something very simple, which was to secure the southern border once and for all. So if this is going to be the argument he wants to make, then I got a counter argument. Number one, we're going to continue with ICE doing their job under the Constitution. But number two, We're going to protect the vote of every American. We're not going to have situations like in California and other states where Democrats know that they have people voting in our elections with impunity just so Democrats can get some semblance of power in the United States of America.
That's the next governor of Florida right there, Byron Donalds. I do think that he's poised for a strong run. Who knows? Who knows how it shakes out? But I think he would be a fantastic governor of the state of Florida. He gives a good handshake, too. You can judge a lot about a man by the way you shake his hand. We were at America Fest, was it 2 years ago? Not this last year, but the year before. And there was a World War II veteran who was about, 10, 15 rows back. And Byron Donalds came out and assisted this World War II veteran in his wheelchair to the front. And just an awesome guy. Really a good dude. And I hope that he does become the governor of Florida. In the meantime, you're welcome to call in and talk about anything you want to talk about. 615-737-9986. We got one of our seminar callers. It's our seminar caller from the Republican from New Jersey. He wants to talk about the Epstein files. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. What's up?
Good. I just wanted to know I still support you, even though you support a pedophile, or I should say a guy who best case scenario is a pedophile protector, worst case scenario a pedophile himself. I'm still listening to you, but you'll have to explain that one day to your kids. So
the 3 million files that they dropped, that's no big deal.
What it is a big deal.
Okay. So that was Trump's that was Trump's DOJ, right? How many documents did Biden's DOJ release?
They couldn't because there was
they were unable to. They were unable to. With the weaponization of the justice, excuse me, I'm talking. With the weaponization of the Justice Department and how much and the lengths that they were willing to go after Trump to get him. Why didn't they drop any of this info that proves he's a pedophile during that time? Why didn't they drop it in 2016? Why are there emails? Why are there emails with Jeffrey Epstein and the journalist from The Atlantic, Michael Wolff? Why are there emails where they're talking about taking Trump down? No, nothing? You got nothing. You call in. You're the seminar caller. You're supposed to be loaded for bear, and you got nothing for me? Why did Donald Trump kick Jeffrey Epstein out of his club? Oh, he kicked him out because he was trying to lure away the massage parlor girls, and he said, "No more. You're out." Got it. Why did Donald Trump? Why did Donald Trump? Why was Donald? Excuse me. I'm talking. Excuse me. Why is it that when Bradley Edwards, an attorney for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, contacted many famous people, many celebrities, many of the elite, many high politicians during the original criminal investigation against Jeffrey Epstein, why was it that only Donald Trump responded to those inquiries? Why was it that Donald Trump gave him actionable information that helped him in the case? This pedophile. Did he want to be the top pedophile? Is that what you're telling me? Jeffrey Epstein was encroaching on the pedophilia. So he said, I'm the top pedophile. I'm going to rat out Jeffrey Epstein. Or was it the fact that he realized this guy is a slime ball and he wanted nothing to do with him?
Why did his name appear 9,000 times in the files?
You tell me. They're talking about taking him down in 2016.
He barely knew him. They weren't even friends.
No. Everybody knows that they had a relationship. Everybody, see, you're putting words. You're putting words in my mouth. I've never said that.
No, I'm putting words in. No, Donnie, what are you talking about? You just said it a day or two ago.
What did I say?
I barely knew him. We weren't friends with. I wasn't friends with him.
You understand. You understand how these things. You understand how these things and these parties work, right?
You are not.
You get that, right? Like you get there's a difference between you get.
You don't even believe.
You get that there's a difference between acquaintance and friend, right?
Is
there something in the water in New Jersey? I mean, listen.
One day
I'm open. I am open to new information. I'm open to new information changing my mind. I'll tell you what. If there is a smoking gun that implicates Donald Trump, he should be in prison with the rest of the people that were involved with Epstein. And I have said that from day one. But you have nothing. You have nothing but accusations. You have nothing. There is no smoking gun.
Because I can't get a friggin' word in.
What do you got?
How do you like Howard Nutlick's lies and Elon Musk's lies? Do you like those?
I'm not a
Do you
huge
think
fan of
something
it.
should
No,
be done?
no, I'm not.
Do you think they should? Do you think Nutlick should be let go?
Hilarious. I think Howard Lutnick has actually been doing a pretty good job.
Right, but the fact that he lied over the Epstein situation, that's not a big deal. You can tolerate that, right?
I mean,
same with Elon.
The difference is, though, Howard Lutnick wasn't implicated in doing anything unjust towards any young girls. There's no information that says that.
Why did he so blatantly lie about his involvement?
Because it's embarrassing it's embarrassing to all of these elites. It's on both sides of the aisle. This guy was so connected with everyone.
Understand why did Kash Patel under oath say that there's no evidence that Epstein trafficked young girls?
I can't tell you. I mean, listen. You can
running the FBI.
Yeah, and I made the point yesterday on the show that Dan Bongino.
Do you think that's grounds for dismissal?
I actually do. To be perfectly honest with you, I think that we should get a better FBI director. And I also made the point yesterday on my show that Dan Bongino said that he saw proof that Epstein killed himself. And I was wondering where that proof was in the document dump. So, like, you Van Gogh, listen. You pick and you choose.
How great is it that these clowns stirred the pot and came up with all these conspiracies to make money, and then when they're in positions of authority, they have to lie and go, "Oh no, there's no list, there's nothing," Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's the people Trump surround. He only surrounds himself with the best people. What do you think about Donnie selling AI technology to the United Arab Emirates? He only made $500 million from it. That's okay, though, right?
I mean, what do you want? Should we not do business with any other country?
No. He did business, not we. He did business. They gave him $500 million in return for him agreeing to sell for us to allow the UAE to purchase.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll look into it. It doesn't even sound like you have the story under control. You don't even know what you're talking about. Thanks.
How did Trump enrich himself by
why do you always call in with a
$1.4
different name? Like, we know it's you, right? Like, and we let you on the air.
Yes, I do. So
the longer you
I must be schizophrenic.
Yeah, okay. Hey, thanks for the call. 1024 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC. We talk about Better Water all the time. They're a great sponsor of the show. I've heard Murphy talking about them. They're going to come down to Murphy-Lago, clean up the water over there. They're coming to my house to clean up the water. They should be going to your house to clean up the water. If you're tired of weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad tasting water at the house or the office, these are the folks you need to call. You can think of it like installing a giant Brita filter for your entire house, or you can scale one down that fits just under the sink, and they handle everything. You could have some nasty stuff in your water: sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. Now, here's the best part. Better Water will test your water for free. If you have any of that nasty stuff in there, well, they got a range of options for you. From reverse osmosis to specialized filters to UV lights, Better Water has you covered. Local company based out of Smyrna. They're already treating the water at the coffee shops and the hospitals around town. These guys are pros. They've been doing it for 55 years. Give them a call today. Tell them Chris Hand said they're going to test your water for free, and they'll come out to your home and do just that. 615-355-6063. 615-355-6063. Or find them online, betterwater.com. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche was making the rounds yesterday. He confirmed that what we're seeing in Minnesota is an internal distraction. And he said it only started when the fraud blew up because of Nick Shirley's reporting. Nick Shirley's in California right now doing the exact same thing. Excited to see what happens over there. Minnesota's Attorney General Keith Ellison has responded. And he says that ICE is all they're looking to do is harass and bully people. Let's talk about the people that they're harassing and bullying, shall we? Murderers, gang members, rapists, child rapists, harassing and bullying. And we got names. We got pictures. We know who they're picking up in Minnesota. I'm going to bring you the audio from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Attorney General of Minnesota Keith Ellison on the way. And we'll talk about those people being bullied by ICE agents. A lot to get to. A little bit of time. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Governor Bill Lee would like to see a school voucher program doubled to include 40,000 families. And that's what he said last night in his final State of the State address.
It has been the highest honor of my life to serve alongside you. Growing the program would open the door of opportunity for thousands more children statewide.
He also said the state is getting $1 billion in grants to improve rural health care in the state. President Trump will meet with Colombian President Gustavo Petro today at the White House. It's the first sit-down with a South American head of state since Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro was extracted. Elon Musk's office is in Paris, raided by prosecutors there, a cybercrime unit. Now they want Musk to appear for questioning as part of an investigation into alleged sexual deepfakes and Holocaust denial content. By the way, Elon Musk is joining a couple of his companies together. SpaceX and xAI are now under one company umbrella.
Both companies are owned by Elon Musk, who says global electricity demand for AI simply cannot be met with terrestrial solutions, adding space-based AI is obviously the only way to scale. Less than a year ago, xAI bought X, the social network formerly known as Twitter, which is also owned by Elon Musk. It comes as many AI companies draw scrutiny for circular deals, which create more risk as it ties all the companies' fates together. SpaceX is expected to go public later this year. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
That's the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. She's always the best. And, until Ken Weaver gets in, and then I start saying that Ken's the best. I kind of play both sides of the fence in the newsroom. I'll be honest with you.
A little biased.
I tell them both that they're my favorite. You know what I don't play both sides of the fence, though? When it comes to safe and vaults, I always trust Aaron Parker. My guy Aaron Parker over there in Shelbyville is the guy you need to talk to about safes and vaults. You need to shop at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. They carry real safes, including UL-rated TL and TR safes. These guys are tested and certified to resist all types of attacks, torch and tool attacks. They'll even be able to stop a teenager from tipping them over. If a teenager can tip over your safe, spoiler alert, it's not a safe. You need a real deal heavy-duty safe to protect your firearms, your cash, your jewelry, your precious metals, not a thin box from a big store. Aaron Parker runs this business the old-fashioned way. It's a Christian-run family business by a veteran, Air Force security, former park ranger. Aaron and his boys do everything. They'll walk you through the buying process. They'll find the right safe for you, and then they'll deliver it and install it discreetly and professionally. These guys service all of the Nashville area. Shelbyville isn't another country. They can come to you. It's practically in the backyard. Give them a call today, 931-842-6445. Or hop online to their YouTube page. Search for Parker Safes on YouTube, and you can get a detailed breakdown of every safe that they have in stock. You can also find that online, parkersafes.com. It's 1043, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. If you've been listening to us on the radio, there's been some awkward moments of silence. We were trying to make Mason start hosting the show, and every time he went to do it, he got a little nervous.
Listen, I get cold feet. It's not my favorite.
We're gonna keep pushing him. Got to make him try.
Let me get comfortable with news first, and then I'll consider hosting.
Perfect. All right. A couple of issues, but we're working on behind the scenes. We got the best engineering team in the country on it, so we're not stressing. We were talking about before we hit the break. I wanted to talk about Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. He hit the evening news shows last night, and one of the things he brought up and he mentioned on the Ingram angle was that he knows that what we're seeing in Minnesota, the riots and the protests, are an intentional distraction. This is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Investigations. And remember what was happening in December, Laura. We had a massive fraud going on all through Minneapolis, all through Minnesota. And suddenly it turned. It turned almost on a dime. And it became suddenly all about ICE, all about getting ICE out and how horrible ICE was doing. But really what we have here is a massive underground fraud network operating in Minneapolis. And we had a very strong pushback when we raised our hands and said stop. And so, yes, we have multiple investigations going on. We sent prosecutors from Maine Justice. We sent prosecutors from other U.S. attorneys' offices all over the country. And we're making progress every day.
Yeah. Investigations are ongoing. We understand this is an intentional distraction from the fraud. Everybody feels that way. The riots, the protests, they aren't happening anywhere else except for these big blue cities who just also happen to be dabbling in fraud. It's Minneapolis, it's L.A. That's where things are getting out of hand. The intentional distraction will continue until we forget about the fraud. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison was on Katie Couric's podcast. I didn't know she had a podcast, but she does. And he continues to try and distract and keep the focus on ICE.
We have around 10 to 12% of all of America's immigration agents right here, right now, looking for something to do, harassing, bullying people, do all kinds of horrible things. And what we're saying is that this massive escalation is about punishing Minnesota.
Actually, the massive escalation is because you guys deployed your foot soldiers, the paid agitators, the protesters, to cause mayhem and chaos. And so they had to take more ICE agents, more CBP agents, more individuals from DHS, and put them on the front lines to protect the immigration officers doing the immigration enforcement because of the rabid leftist lunatics that are following them around everywhere they go. They're bullying and harassing people because they have nothing to do. No, actually, the majority of what they're doing is targeted operations. They know exactly who they're going after. It's the agitators and the paid protesters who have no idea what they're doing, harassing and bullying people. They say people are being bullied, but what we're seeing from the protesters is not bullying. I mean, over and over again, inside the city of Minneapolis, we're seeing videos, and everybody's posting these videos now, where you have local Minnesotans creating roadblocks like they're Al-Qaeda, so that way they can run plates of cars that are in the area to make sure they're not ICE agents. Is that not bullying or harassing? If you're renting a vehicle, you're in Minneapolis for business, and you're stopped by a paid protester, an agitator, an Antifa member to have your plates run, is that bullying or harassment? Asking for a friend. I would consider that bullying and harassment. Does Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, have anything to say about that? No, of course not. Of course not. He's worried about the people being bullied. Not the people actually being bullied. He's worried about individuals like this who got picked up in Minnesota. This Ecuadorian national who was convicted of sexual assault and illegal reentry, arrested in Minneapolis. This is who Keith Ellison is worried about. The newcomers, the voting base, the guys that are going to keep the House seats when they roll around for the census in 2030. This guy's nuts. Federico Chavez Malo, sexual assault, illegal reentry, arrested in Minneapolis. They're bullying people. They're bullying people. We can't let this happen. This is America. New immigration poll just dropped, by the way. You know what Americans like? Americans like mass deportation. 73% say coming here illegally is breaking the law. 61% support deporting illegals. 58% oppose defunding ICE. And 54% support enforcing our immigration laws. Republicans overwhelmingly in that category. But on some of the other questions, it's important to understand the breakdown of the Democrat voters as well. Is coming into the country illegally breaking the law? We've heard the activists, we've heard the independent journalists like Don Lemon try and make the case that you're not breaking the law. But fun fact, 48% of Democrats believe that if you come into the country illegally, you are breaking the law and you should be sent home. 48% to 45%, with 7% unsure. Let's go to the next question. Deportation. Over 60% of midterm voters support deporting those illegally in the United States. Democrats live in an alternate world and completely disagree. 67% opposing deportations. We can't blame them for being insane. Defunding ICE, that is an overwhelmingly Democrat position, 68% support. ICE enforcement, despite the mainstream media narrative, a majority support ICE enforcing immigration laws to remove illegal immigrations. Democrats strongly oppose. But what they agree on is that if you come in here and you break our immigration law, you sneak into the country, that you are committing a crime. You absolutely are committing a crime. There's another slide on this poll where they had asked, do you want state and local officials to cooperate with ICE on deporting individuals, criminal illegal aliens? 67% of Americans say yes. 67% of Americans also say that local jails should hand over criminal illegals to ICE for deportation. So when you have this number, this majority of the public supporting ICE, supporting the deportation operations, and Keith Ellison gets on TV and says ICE is just harassing and bullying people, it's like, what alternate reality do you live in, sir? The American people strongly support this. The American people sent Donald Trump in with a mandate to do this, and they still support him on it. We need to keep pushing. Success is 30 million deportations. We got a long way to go, and we got to keep our foot on the gas. We're going to have to ramp up and go even harder. You always hear them say, we got to get the worst first. Okay, it's been a year. Now let's go for everybody. That's my personal opinion. What do you think? 615-737-9986. You can also jump inside the YouTube chat if you want. On the way, we'll talk about the next generation of protest. You see, we've seen what the leftist lunatics look like in the streets of Minneapolis. We've seen what they look like in New York and in Los Angeles. Just absolute insane individuals. But they start them young. You understand that, right? And there's a next generation of protests coming up. We have high schoolers walking out, but it gets even worse than that. A New York City school had kindergartners protesting ICE. What? Liberal indoctrination at its finest. We'll talk about that when we get back. It's 10:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Massive fire at a Nashville marina. Boats are destroyed. We'll tell you about it at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's the same marina where we had our Donald Trump, Kamala Harris presidential debate party.
Is that the same one?
That was the same one. That was where we got the smash hit. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Do you remember that, Ken? Speaking of that, the Haitian migrants. Did you see the activist judge said that temporary protected status actually means protected status forever? I saw that.
So temporary has a different definition now.
Yep. When you're left, when you're on the left, it does. It's not temporary. It means forever. It means newcomer. It means future voter. We'll talk about that on the way. Also, I was reading through your text messages. A lot of individuals, we were talking about how, Keith Ellison doesn't want anybody getting bullied on the streets. He's really upset that ICE agents are bullying people. But I played this video that we have of locals in Minnesota. Locals, not anybody that was bussed in, not anybody that's paid to do it. Locals. They're stopping cars in the middle of the street if they have out-of-state plates, and then they're running their plates through the signal chat. And they're confirming they're confirming they're either ICE agents or not ICE agents, and then they're letting them go about their business. A lot of people are like, "Is this even legal?" And I don't think it is. No, I don't think it's legal at all. And there was a journalist, Jorge Ventura, who he recorded them running their plates like they're members of a Mexican cartel, and the anti-ICE leftists in Minnesota tried assaulting him and shoved him back into his car. If you're watching us on Super Talk TV, you'll see that video running in the background where all he tried to do was film what was happening on the streets, and he was shoved back into his car violently. These people are insane. Starts at a young age, though. Let's be perfectly honest. This didn't happen overnight. This is a long process to becoming this radical and this lunatic. There's a lot of high schools right now across the country that we're seeing walkouts. I have a video on the YouTube stream right now. This is an Indiana high school did a walkout, and you can see young kids dancing on the top of cars and blocking streets and really taking advantage of the fact that they got a day off of school. But it gets way worse than these high schoolers who were led down the liberal path of indoctrination by their teachers. We had a San Antonio high school walkout yesterday, but we also had a New York day school indoctrinating kindergartners with this liberal ideology. It was a bit too cold for them to go outside, but we got video of the protest with these young kindergartners, future activists. Listen to this. Listen to how insane this is. These poor kids. I mean, just listen to this.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Canton. I am the director here at the Chloe Day School here in Harlem, New York. As today is a national day of protest for all the violent things that we're seeing happening across our city. Here at the Chloe Day School, we learn about service and acts of service from Martin Luther King. And so to end our month of service, it's too cold outside for us to go outside and protest. Our teachers cannot walk off the job and leave our children unsupervised. So today, we decided in solidarity, we will support all those who are out protesting against the violence that we see and the harm that we see happening to our friends.
There's 20 kindergartners behind this woman. She said it's too cold to bring the kids outside to protest. She said the teachers can't walk off the job and leave the kids behind. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm thinking, actually, I think you'd be serving the kids better if you did that. It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And the Tennessee Department of Transportation says permanent pothole repairs going to have to wait until warmer weather. Crews currently using cold mix asphalt to temporarily patch after last week's winter storm. TDOT says I-24 in Smyrna is in bad shape. And if you've driven it, it definitely is. Last night, it came to a complete stop on my way home. There for a little bit. There in Smyrna, it's like you're driving on a gravel road. Milling works expected to begin this week, leaving a grooved roadway there on 24 in Smyrna until spring. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. A houseboat caught fire early this morning at Elm Hill Marina that is, on Percy Priest Lake. Nashville firefighters got there around 6:50. They say one of the boats was fully engulfed. The flames spread to the dock, several other boats. Everyone on board escaped safely. No injuries reported. Nashville scored a major win today as Geodis Park selected to host soccer matches during the 2028 Olympic Games. LA 28 organizers announced Music City is one of 6 U.S. cities added to the Olympic soccer lineup. Nashville will host group stage matches while the final rounds take place at the Rose Bowl in California. A full schedule of match dates expected before the first ticket release in April. And the House in our nation's capital expected to take a final vote on a wide-ranging funding bill that would end a partial government shutdown that began late Friday. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
By funding DHS through the end of next week, the measure provides more time for the two sides to come to terms on the operations of ICE and the Border Patrol. Democrats have demanded an end to masked agents and the use of warrants not signed by judges. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
They say they want a real negotiation with President Trump and Republicans over immigration enforcement policy, and we are happy to have that debate.
A lack of an agreement by February 13th could lead to a prolonged funding lapse at DHS, affecting such agencies as FEMA, the Secret Service, and the TSA. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
There is a high-stakes back and forth between lawmakers and former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed both to provide testimony on Bill Clinton's former friendship that is, with Jeffrey Epstein. But the couple has resisted, a move that prompted the panel to send a contempt resolution to the House floor. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy again.
The former president and former Secretary of State now say they're willing to sit for separate depositions. But House Oversight Chair James Comer says he still needs to clarify what it is the Clintons are agreeing to and then discuss next steps with colleagues. A person familiar with the matter says if the Clintons don't agree to the committee's terms, the House will move forward with a vote to hold the couple in contempt of Congress, which could lead the Justice Department to pursue criminal charges against them.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate you doing so. Do you know what Mason and I did during the commercial break? So Matt Murphy, well, I'm not going to say his name many more times. He always leaves CNN on in the studio.
Yeah.
It looks like Dana Bash has a black eye. Right?
It's that, or it's like some bad Botox or something, because it's off.
I made Mason put on CNN in his studio, and then we sat there and watched CNN for a minute during the commercial break.
Yeah.
As they switched from every camera angle except for the one on Dana Bash.
I've done video broadcasting too long in other fields to know that all those shots were intentional.
Yeah, they were switching to people that weren't even talking.
Yeah, they avoided her completely. The host of the show, who was taking notes and being talked to actively by the other dude that was there, didn't show her once.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it was bad Botox, but it was visually jarring.
Yeah.
It's weird. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that's what we do. We judge during the commercial breaks.
We judge CNN so you don't have to.
Yes, I like that. We were talking about liberal indoctrination. Now, all these young kids are learning how to protest from the best of them.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Canton. I am the director here at the Chloe Day School here in Harlem, New York.
What kind of doctor you think she is? You think it's like a Dr. Jill Biden? You think that kind of a doctor? She has her doctorate? I don't know. Her shirt says, "Dear ancestors, I understand the assignment." Okay. Then there's a sign in the back held up, and it says, "We are stronger together." Okay.
As today is a national day of protest for all the violent things that we're seeing happening across our city.
All the violent things that you're seeing, like when people assault ICE agents or climb to the rooftops of buildings and shoot at ICE agents or ambush ICE agents at their facilities. No, I don't think that's what you meant.
At the Chloe Day School, we learned about service and acts of service from Martin Luther King. And so to end our month of service, it's too cold outside for us to go outside and protest. Our teachers cannot walk off the job and leave our children unsupervised.
They'd be better off if you did.
So today, we decided in solidarity, we will support all those who are out protesting against the violence that we see and the harm that we see happening to our friends.
You know, they're arresting child rapists, ma'am. Some of the illegal aliens that ICE has removed would sexually assault the kids behind you. Does she understand that? Does she realize that these kids are safer because ICE is on the streets getting rid of these criminal illegal aliens? Does she understand that? Is this cognitive dissonance? Is that what we're witnessing here? She keeps going.
So some of our friends are going to share how they feel about what's happening and what they want to see happen in our government to change the harm that we see.
Some of these kids are going to share. They're going to share how they feel, not how they've been told to feel. I'm sure, right? I'm sure of it.
So Sahad, how do you feel about what's happening?
I feel all of it.
Right. And how do you feel? What did you tell us earlier?
I feel angry.
Now, if you're not watching on Super Talk TV, you can see the teacher mouth the word angry. This is what, like a 4-year-old kid? What would you do if this was your kid's daycare? What would you do if this was the kindergarten class that your kid was going to? 615-737-9986. I can tell you what I'd do. Pull those kids right out of that school. Homeschooling is the best option. You understand that, right? Like this is the proof. This is it. It takes some sacrifice to do homeschooling. I'm not going to beat around the bush. But it's worth it. And they'll tell you, "Oh, the homeschool kids are weird." And it's like, have you seen public schools lately? Have you seen not just the public school kids, but the public school teachers? This kind of liberal indoctrination is happening at schools all over the country. It's not just New York.
Because you don't like to see what?
I don't like to see when people are hurt or taken away from their family.
Right. And so, Isabel and Amadi, what do we want to say? Stop the
hating.
Right. Okay, and my last three, Faith, Mariama, and Raya, what do we want to tell people?
Enough is enough. Stop hurting people.
And what do we want to say as a school?
Enough is enough. Stop hurting people.
Can you imagine? Your kids come home and they're just scarred from a day at kindergarten. Mom, Dad, they're hurting people. They're hurting everyone in the streets. This needs to end. It's like, what? These kids don't... You're stealing childhood from these children. You understand that, right? You're ruining the childhood that they have. These kids shouldn't be fearful walking down the streets. This is the same stuff we see when they demonize police and these... It's just insane. It infuriates me to no end. These beautiful, innocent children have no business being left in the care of these liberal lunatics. I would absolutely lose my mind.
Dara, would you like to share your thoughts?
My thoughts are united, we're powerful, our words are strong, kindness is free. Let's do the right thing.
Miss Amy, would you like to share?
Just stop hating and be kind to one another.
Here at the Chloe Day School, we teach love, we teach kindness, and when we work together, we are a better world.
Insanity. Absolute insanity. Tren Aragua gang members taking over apartment complexes. When the illegal aliens don't pay the rent, they're extorting them by pulling the fingernails off of women with pliers. Children are being raped. People are being murdered. Laken Riley, Rachel Marin, Jocelyn Nungary. I can't with these women. What on earth is going through their minds? It gets even worse. Some people don't just drop their kids off at a school like this. Some people actually haul their kids down to the protests. I saw a video the other day. It made me sick. But I do believe that this is all part of the design, right? This is an optics war that we're in. And we knew we were going to be in an optics war. We talked about this during the campaign when Donald Trump was trying to get elected to his second term. That if the mass deportations happen, we're going to see the crying kids on the street. We're going to hear the stories like we've heard about the 5-year-old who was taken into custody. They left out the part where his father ran away and the ICE agents took him to McDonald's and played his favorite songs to try and calm him down. They left that part out. But this is an optics war. And they're bringing kids to the front lines of these protests now. This video makes me so mad on so many levels. As a parent, you're supposed to protect your kids. That is your number one job. Raise them into good adults and keep them safe. This leftist parent brought their 7-year-old to a protest, and the 7-year-old got pepper spray in their eyes.
Save it!
Before the video cuts off, you hear her go, "Owie, it burns." What are you doing with your children? You should be charged with negligence and abuse for bringing them to a situation like that. These people are insane. They do this on purpose. They were probably downright giddy to get this on video so they could post it on TikTok. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Leftists are dragging their kids to protest. They're indoctrinating their kids at school. Let's meet Bailey Hill Ringer. This is a first grade teacher in San Diego. A first grade teacher in San Diego. She posted a video on TikTok. You'll be able to see it if you're watching us on Supertalk TV, where it's stunning and brave. This teacher, Bailey Hill Ringer, Miss Ringer. I'm assuming it's Miss. I couldn't imagine she's married. But she posted a video. It's stunning and brave, where she takes down the American flag and turns it upside down and slaps an "Ice Out" sticker on the blackboard. And they play the Hunger Games song. Oh, the American flag is upside down. The ice out sticker is stapled to the wall. Stunning and brave. This is a first grade classroom. A first grade classroom. Why wouldn't you homeschool your kids? Honestly. I will say, and I think it's important to point out, it's not all the kids. It's not every kid out there. A lot of kids see through this BS. There's a video that's been going viral of a high schooler on TikTok, and she was talking about how her school is doing an anti-ICE protest.
My school is doing an anti-ICE protest. Politics do not belong in school. You need to let law enforcement do their dang job. This is not okay. ICE protests turn into violence. Just about every single one of them. They are so violent. I'm scared for my own safety. This is ridiculous.
You know what's ridiculous? When a high schooler has more common sense than your average leftist protester. You know, the leftist protesters are like, let's bring the 7-year-old. Whoa, we'll teach him about America. And then this high schooler is like, every ICE protest turns into violence. Every single one of them. She's right, too, you know. She's absolutely correct. She's not going to partake. It's not all the kids. But do these parents realize the people that they're defending hurt kids? Has that gone through their mind yet? And it's not just the illegal aliens that are hurting the kids. It's the Democrats as well. 145,000 missing migrant children have been located, that were trafficked, have now been located because they were trafficked under Joe Biden. All these kids were coming into the country. They were all getting lost. Tom Homan has gotten to the bottom of it. 145,000 of them have been found. This is an insane report Fox News has.
Under the leadership of President Donald Trump, he first secured the border, which absolutely cut down on the flow and in the child trafficking economy. And so that was the first critical move. And their next critical step was to put new leadership at the Office of Refugee Resettlement, which is part of HHS, which is where the children were being trafficked from, the Office of Refugee Resettlement. So they put some great, intelligent folks there. John Fabricatori, who is a senior advisor, also acting director Salazar, and their collaboration now with ORR, so the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the FBI, and DHS, they've been able to go out, do a concerted effort, door knocking, finding these children. It's wonderful news.
That is good news. But it's important to point out that the Democrats looked the other way while this was happening under Joe Biden. There was no heartache. There was no emotional pleas to find these kids. They didn't give a damn because the TV didn't tell them to. They only care now. We have to stop the family separation. Okay. You know, under Joe Biden, there was a hotline where migrant kids could call in if the adult that they were placed into care with was hurting them, abusing them. That sounds good in practice, right? This is how it was executed.
You're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with. And you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
65,000 calls go unanswered. Miss me with your faux outrage.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
That's Rep. Eli Crane asking the questions.
Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids? One staffer? Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
No.
Maybe that's why there were 65,000 calls that weren't answered from these little kids, huh?
All the Democrats that try and use emotional propaganda against you when it comes to immigration enforcement, They just absolutely missed the biggest story of all time. Hundreds of thousands of kids going missing. Phone lines not even being answered, not even being staffed. The Biden administration aided and abetted in the largest human trafficking operation we have ever seen in this country. The Democrats were silent. Today they care about the kids. Today they're going to tell you about that 5-year-old that was taken into custody. Oh, how heartbreaking. But they don't give a damn. This is about power. This is a political game by the left. Don't fall for it. It's 11:22. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. February's here, Valentine's Day around the corner, and Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is actually doing something pretty cool for it. If you're a new customer and you join their yearly Beehive membership anytime this month, you're going to be automatically entered into their Valentine's Sweetheart Deal giveaway. One winner's getting a relaxing massage from Third Coast Salt. They were just named Wilson County's best, and a $100 Visa gift card for a legit dinner date. That's not bad. And they're doing the live drawing on Friday, February 13th on Facebook Live, so keep an eye out for that, and make sure you like Busy Bee on Facebook. And while we're at it, Tennessee weather does what Tennessee weather does. When storm rolls in, Busy Bee's ready with some serious savings to protect your home. Right now, you can get 40% off a whole home surge protector with repairs, $500 off select whole home water repipes, and the one everybody knows, the 93 or free mainline clog deal. Either they clear it or you don't pay. It's that simple. So don't wait. Give Busy Bee a call today, 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. Or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
Firefighters rush to Elm Hill Marina after a houseboat fire spreads to other boats. This story and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I have a correction to issue.
Yes, sir.
I have a correction. I said that's where we did our presidential debate. I was
that's
wrong.
not the one?
I was wrong. It was Cedar Creek where we did it.
Yeah, Cedar Creek.
Luckily,
got good pizza over there.
There were 300 faithful listeners to let me know on the text line. So
you didn't have any shortage of
no
corrections.
They're quick. They come quick, and we salute you guys. We got another one coming up. The Stake of the Union.
The Stake of the Union.
99.7 WTN.com. That's going to be a party, man. What? Let me get the info in front of me because I'm not prepared. I didn't plan to talk about that. Stake of the Union.
Stake of the Union.
February 24th. Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. I know. I'm excited too. They're not making me drive all the way across town
right,
for this
brother
one.
Chris. That's only going to be about a 20-minute drive for us.
So we're going to have some fun. It's going to be myself, Murphy, Mandis, Benson, and you guys, and we're going to lead up to Trump's address to the nation from the United States Capitol. This is a very limited availability on this. There's only 100 tickets available. Tickets are $100 each. Okay. Now, before you go, what? Here's what you need to know. The ticket includes a 9-ounce Legend sirloin, 2 sides, a salad bar, strawberry cake, a non-alcoholic beverage of choice, and tax and gratuity for only $100. It's a pretty good deal, and you get to hang out with us all night long as we watch the State of the Union and we enjoy some steak. Are we getting steak? Has anybody cleared that yet? Judging by the silence, I'm going to have to bring something from home.
I don't know if we're
I'll bring a
if we're
snack.
included.
I think we're getting little smokies.
I'll bring a snack.
Are they bacon wrapped?
I'll say, Virginia, you're the best at packing snacks, and I'm gonna need you to pull through for me again. But no, seriously, it's gonna be an awesome night. We want you out there at Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. It's gonna be a blast. Stake of the Union. I don't know who came up with the pun. Smart money's on Mason.
No, I was going to say that's a Dan
joke
if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I bet your brother Dan Manis will take credit for it.
Dan will take credit for it.
Dan likes a good pun.
He's a pun master. On the way, we got the lightning round. I am going to rehash a story that I told this morning because it's too good not to. Did you hear what happened in a French hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joan told me about that.
Did she? Was she scarred?
Yeah.
Poor Joan.
Not as scarred as that fella is.
Fair enough. We'll talk about that on the way. And I got some good stuff. Let's see what else we got. We got a trade deal with India that came through. We'll also talk about the Bad Bunny halftime Super Bowl performance. Roger Goodell was asked about it, and I don't know. I'm of the opinion that we're going to see a man in a dress at the halftime show. That is, if you watch it.
Roger Goodell?
Yeah. No, not Roger Goodell in a dress. That would be stunning and brave. I actually might not change the channel if Roger Goodell was going to wear a dress. To be perfectly honest with you. We'll also talk about the counter programming that's coming to a Super Bowl halftime show near you in the tune of Turning Point USA and their All-American halftime show. And the NFL, they got some work to do. Do you hear that they have work to do? It's such a racist and bigoted league. They always say end racism, and I see it, but they never seem to end racism. We'll talk about that on the way as well. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Got a large fire at Elm Hill Marina. Damaged multiple boats after a houseboat went up in flames first. Happened around 7 o'clock this morning. Channel 4 talked to a man who lost 2 boats. He says he got a call from another boater this morning about what was going on.
He was running up and down the dock trying to untie boats as best he could and let them float out in the water. So that's kind of how that worked. And then, of course, when you have boats like ours, mine's 70 and the 60-foot boats are full of gas. I mean, it's like bombs going off.
Fortunately, no one was hurt. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of damage. Investigators working to determine the cause of that fire. Right now in Nashville, still have 18,000 NES customers without power. Many of them won't have it until Monday. Very frustrating for people like Jeff Ham, who tell Channel 4 most everyone in his Charlotte Park neighborhood are still having to pay for hotel rooms or shack up with friends and family.
It's very frustrating when you have no electricity. You know your pipes are busted. Yeah, there's just nothing you can do right now. Just have to wait it out.
16 different zip codes that may not have power until Monday include Antioch, Madison, parts of Brentwood, and Belmead. Here's Channel 4's Holly Thompson.
The mayor of Brentwood is joining a growing list of mayors speaking out against NES right now. Mayor Nelson Andrews says the estimated restoration date for the city is, quote, wholly unacceptable. He says he does not believe the power company focused a reasonable amount of resources in his community. Brentwood officials are now calling for NES to reevaluate its current power restoration schedule.
Music City Loop update. Fox 17 says the Boring Company is ready to start digging, but is still waiting on 5 key permits. The most important approval must come from the Tennessee Department of Transportation. The project needs 37 permits just to begin tunneling, 45 overall before it can operate.
Hey, Ken?
Yes, sir.
We say be an a-hole on this show.
I forgot about
Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The planned B&A hole will run Teslas from the airport to downtown, with another proposed route stretching from West End to Nissan Stadium. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris And here for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. We love these guys. You can trust these guys. If you got water coming into your crawl space or into your basement as the ice is melting, you got one phone call to make. Who are you going to call? It's USS. Listen, when the water is getting into your basement or crawl space, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a warning. January is a wet month. When water shows up where it doesn't belong, it's going to quietly undermine your home's foundation. USS has been solving these problems since 1994. They don't guess. They don't do patchwork. They send in experts to find where the water's coming in. Then they'll build a customized waterproofing solution for you and your home that actually lasts. In fact, they're so confident it's going to last, it's backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Who else is doing that? It's USS. They use American-made materials, proven systems, and they stand behind their work. No shortcuts, no pressure, just honest answers, permanent solutions. Call United Structural Systems today if water's getting into your crawl space or your basement. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. USS, built on trust, built to last. USSTN.com.
Elon Musk's privately funded tunnel from downtown BNA.
The most cutting-edge transit systems in the world.
They call it the Music City Loop. We call it the BNA hole.
We've submitted a list of questions, and so we're looking forward to the opportunity to get answers.
Questions like, how does a tunnel work? Or how can I be the biggest a-hole in the room without even trying? Because clearly, the fiscally responsible thing to do is to keep traffic backed up until every driver becomes an a-hole. The BNA hole. Zero cost to the taxpayers, and that's the real problem for the left.
I kind of think that's on brand.
Not enough opportunity to play tax collector a-hole. The BNA hole, where progress goes to upset liberals.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
It's 11:37. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to it and watch it anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Helping us grow the digital footprint of the radio station is a huge boon to all of us here at Super Talk. So even if you don't like my show, but you like Benson or you like Murphy or you like Mandis, hit like, hit subscribe. It helps all of us equally. So please do that. Please. If just 1,000 of you could create 10 YouTube profiles and hit like, that'd be amazing. We just need 1,000 dedicated Super Talk listeners.
You would be loved and appreciated.
We would love and appreciate you. It's true.
I mean, we already do, but like more.
Yeah, we would love you even more.
If not for us.
Yeah, we'd love you so much it might get weird and clingy. That being said, we got stuff to do, all right? And you know what time it is. It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Every day at this time, we do the lightning round. All the stories that we couldn't get to, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, stories that we ran out of time to talk about, but we want to talk about anyway. We like to call it the lightning round. Dude, you're quick on the lightning today.
Bro, after yesterday's flub of just disaster after disaster, I'm on top of it today.
You got to bed early last night.
Bro. Yep, I got an early 1 a.m.
He said, I'm not making the same mistake twice.
We ain't slipping up.
Okay. First story in the lightning round. Turning Point USA has announced their All-American halftime show featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett this Sunday. It is going to be airing all over the place. Real America's Voice, TBN. It'll also be streamed on YouTube, X, and Rumble. The Daily Wire is also going to be streaming it as well. It's going to be a big deal, and we're excited for those guys. Best of luck. I hope that it is massively successful. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I have no idea. I'm probably going to watch the Super Bowl. The boys are really into the Super Bowl. Patriots are in. And we'll probably watch the Super Bowl. I'll probably put this halftime show on to help my guys out with the numbers. But I'm probably going to be making snacks.
Yeah, that's fair. Watch your commercials, and I'll be watching my Seahawks beat your Patriots.
When did they become your Seahawks?
They've always been my Seahawks. I root for the Seahawks whenever the Titans don't make it past 3 wins.
Okay.
I have family up there as well, so it makes it a little more personal.
So you're not a bandwagoner?
No.
I've told you this before. I really wanted Tom Brady to come to the Titans.
That would have been interesting.
I grew up as a massive Tom Brady fan. Obviously, growing up in Boston, how do you not be a Tom Brady fan? But I don't like bandwagon fans like Mason. So
hey now.
When
you're an all-star.
When Brady was when they didn't know where he was going to go, I was like, man, if he comes to Tennessee, then like I feel like I could transition.
Yeah, it's a natural progression.
Like I like Tom Brady, and then I'll root for the Titans. Then it wouldn't have felt as awkward.
Yeah.
But never happened.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, if you don't want to watch the All-American halftime show with Turning Point USA, Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, Gabby Barrett, which is available on Real America's Voice, TBN, the Turning Point USA, YouTube, and Rumble, Daily Wire streaming. If you don't want to watch that, you're more than welcome to watch A Man in a Dress at the regular halftime show. Roger Goodell was asked about it. He was asked about Bad Bunny. Bad Booney. They said, are you worried that he's going to make this political?
So that, on your second question, I think everybody in one of, listen, Bad Bunny is, and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world.
Okay. First of all, sir, did he say Bad Benny?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
He said
I don't think his name's Benny.
And he's talking about the Grammys. He's like one of the greatest in the world. He's the GOAT, actually. He's what Tom Brady is to football, to music.
On your second question, I think everybody in one of, listen, Bad Benny was.
He definitely said Bad Benny.
Yeah, he definitely said it.
He has no idea. He's never listened to a Bad Benny song.
Everybody's got an uncle called Bad Benny.
He's never listened to the music, has he?
On your second question, I think everybody in one of, listen, Bad Benny is, and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world.
People were screaming and chanting, Benny, Benny.
This Benny has no jets.
And that's one of the reasons we chose him. But the other reason is he understood the platform he was on, and that this platform is used to unite people and to be able to bring people together with their creativity, with their talents, and to be able to use this moment to do that. And I think artists in the past have done that. I think Bad Bunny understands that, and I think he'll have a great performance.
Yeah, wearing a dress confirmed. I mean, like, right? Like, he's absolutely going to be wearing a dress. They asked if they were nervous that he was going to get political. No. This is about bringing people together. How about the majority of your audience who is turned off by an artist who is screaming ICE out at the Grammys and is just an overall lunatic? Is it screw them. It's actually screw the main base of our audience who wants nothing to do with this guy. It's about bringing people together. Huh? What? Does that make sense to you? Doesn't really make sense to me. We're definitely going to be a dress. Like, confirmed. We're going to see him in a dress. The NFL has some issues. Have you seen this? This also happened yesterday. Roger Goodell said, we have some work to do. You know why they have work to do? Because they didn't hire any black football coaches. All those coaching openings, and they didn't hire any black coaches.
I think we need to continue to make progress, and I believe that. I believe diversity is good for us. I think we have become a more diverse league across every platform, including coaching, but we still have more work to do.
Didn't the Titans just hire a Muslim head coach? Isn't that like a big deal? It's like a big piece of news. It's like the only Muslim head coach in the league. We still have more work to do. We still got more work to do. What happens if none of the black coaches were up to snuff and the white coaches were better? Because that's what the free market dictated, right? We have more work to do. We got to keep working. Diversity is our strength. I mean, okay, it's your strength until you get on the football field, and you could have hired a better head coach, and then you're losing games. We got work to do. The number of black head coaches in the league at the end of last season was 6. Now there are 3. Aaron Glenn, Todd Bowles, D'Amico Ryans. Tennessee's Robert Saleh is the only other non-white head coach in the league. The NFL implemented the Rooney Rule in 2003, mandating that each team must interview at least one minority candidate for each head coaching vacancy. In recent years, that rule has been expanded to include coordinators and front office hires. Now teams must interview at least 2 non-white candidates for all high-level positions. But here's the rub, okay? The NFL is like 70% black. Like, just, this is, you want to talk about racism and ending race, your league is 70% black. 70%. If we're talking about diversity here, we need to stop interviewing black people. We got too many if we're playing by the rules the left wants us to play by. But I digress. Got another story right here in the lightning round. Hey, this is over across the pond in Europe, over in England. The UK government, they're launching a new drive to turn the countryside less white. And if you're going to be going hiking in England, you better not bring your dog because you're going to upset some Muslims.
We've got a problem. It's a lot about the national parks and getting people out there and making national parks for everybody. And one of the problems is dogs. And actually, this isn't just about the fact that a lot of Muslims find dogs very difficult. It is about people who do not know how to control their dogs.
Why do Muslims find dogs difficult?
Because a lot of they don't have dogs as pets.
Oh, got it. So because Muslims don't have dogs as pets, you're not allowed to walk your dogs outside. You stupid, racist bigot. I will say this. 3 out of the 4 on the panel are just rolling their eyes. And I can only imagine that if they took the thoughts that were in their mind as this woman was describing why you shouldn't have dogs in these national parks, if they took their thoughts that were inside their mind and they were to post those on social media, unedited and raw, I'm of the opinion that they would... Oi, you got a license for posting like that? They would get a visit from the British authorities. Don't bring your dogs to the park, you stupid bigot. All right. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. This happened yesterday on The View. We love The View. We love it. We love The View. It's number one. It's the number one show.
With that.
It's the number one show for cat moms.
Okay, there you go.
We love The View.
Don't say we, though.
We love The View. We love it.
You sure about that?
I am.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Allegedly.
100%.
You sure about that?
I am.
Sorry, I had to get through my last one.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So they were talking about Don Lemon and the grand jury indictment that came down against him. And, they said that they only did it because he's black.
So I just want to understand, because he was at that protest like a week ago, right? In the church. And then a week later, they got a grand jury to indict him. 2 counts.
But this is after they had gone to 3 different courts trying to get judges to sign off.
Right.
And the judges in all 3 previous cases said to the DOJ, get the hell out of my courtroom, you clowns. There is no case here.
Okay.
So they basically did it themselves. They did it. They released the news at the exact same time that they released the Epstein documents.
files.
So make no mistake about it. This was about gaslighting. This was about going against Don Lemon and other journalists, by the way, all who happen to be black.
Oh, he's black. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm hearing this for the first time. Mason, did you know Don Lemon was black?
Wait, what?
I know. I don't see color. But also, nobody missed the Epstein files because we were consumed with Don Lemon. Also, but Anna Navarro, it's funny. It's funny how upset she is about grand jury indictments, because I remember 2023 when there was a grand jury indictment against Donald Trump. She reacted like this.
I want to thank this special grand jury because they have been meeting for weeks and weeks. They've done this incredibly seriously. These are not people with a political agenda. These are regular New Yorkers. Donald Trump finally won a popular vote yesterday. The grand jury voted to indict him.
Grand juries against Republicans, good. Grand juries against black journalists, bad. Are you keeping score? I hope you're keeping score. They only indicted Don Lemon because he's a racist bigot and he's evil. You understand that, right? The orange man couldn't deal with the independent journalists. It had nothing to do with the fact that the churchgoers thought that they were about to be shot and it was a terror attack. It had nothing to do with Don Lemon gleefully discussing the planning that went into it, gleefully discussing the traumatized children. It had nothing to do with the fact that when the churchgoers fled because they thought they were going to be shot, an elderly woman slipped on ice and broke her arm. No. It was because he was black. Got it. This is Elizabeth Warren discussing the grand jury indictment against Don Lemon.
Why are there no Republicans, not one, saying that no one is above the law, that this is all about politics? It's hard not to see it. It's hard not to see a political lens on this, is it not?
I can't answer for the Republicans. I can only answer for myself. And for myself, it's about backing off and letting the system work. Trust in the process. There is no reason to believe there's been anything other than an independent investigation. It's walked through all the steps. It is a grand jury, according to the evidence released, that has voted independently. And we will go forward with that process. And that process offers plenty of opportunity for Donald Trump or anyone else accused of a crime.
Oh, my bad. That was her talking about the grand jury that indicted Donald Trump, not the grand jury that indicted Don Lemon. Okay. I assume that she's going the opposite way now. Gotcha. Got time for one more story in the lightning round. This one, it's explosive.
I'm so scared.
It's explosive. French hospital evacuated after doctors find live World War I artillery shell in patient's rectum. Yep. Stuck it up there. The madman did it.
I've heard charging up the bedroom a little more, but that's not what I thought they would do.
The Rangel Accident and Emergency Unit in Toulouse was evacuated after doctors found an 8-inch long World War I artillery shell in a man's rectum, according to the Daily Mail.
Oh,
The Daily Mail quoted an investigating source.
Oh.
No word on how they investigated. But they indicated that a patient, 24-year-old man, was in a state of extreme discomfort. He didn't know what was going on. But he did know that there was a large object inserted up his rectum. Because the artillery shell was not inert, bomb disposal experts were called in, as was the fire brigade. The New York Post noted that a security perimeter was set around the medical facility while the artillery shell was being handled. This is after the 24-year-old man got handled. The 24-year-old man, who is a French national, must now face authorities for possession of munitions of that level.
Do you think he was smuggling it?
I don't know. He was doing something with it. The Daily Mail, though, says there was no initial explanation as to why the shell ended up in the man's body. The local media speculated it might have had something to do with his social life. So, get your social life in order, or this could happen to you. 11:53, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell and his team are the best. They can get you back to a pain-free life, and they're going to do it in ways that no one else can. You see, they're the first and only office in the state of Tennessee with the brand new device called the HydroWave. It stimulates stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no opioids. You pair that with their non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, and it doesn't get more advanced than this. These guys are using anti-gravity machines, robotic lasers, and this is a novel concept. They'll actually take the time to review your MRI, explain what's happening, and give you a plan on how to fix it. If you want to get back to a pain-free life in 2026, it starts with a phone call to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or find them online, painisbad.com. 11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Chad Benson's in studio. Mason Fleming producing. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. So I was filling Chad in on what happened in France. And I have a stat. If you think you're having a bad day, I just want you to know this. Every year, 40,000 Americans go to the emergency room here in this country with something stuck up their butt. So on average, if you're having a bad day, just know that there's at least 100 people having a worse day. So that's nice. That's good to know.
Maybe theirs is intentional, though.
Fair.
You don't think the suppository of the artillery was intentional? How does one even tell the doc? I've got a problem.
The text messages are the best.
There is an incident.
1333 said,
fail.
1333 said, sounds like dude was playing Battleship and lost.
You sunk my battle butt.
Another guy said, wrecked him. It almost killed him.
How do you even diffuse that?
I don't know. Bobby said he must have just left a Diddy party.
Laxatives?
Oh, man.
That's a mess.
That is, how was your diarrhea? Very explosive.
Yeah. What are you talking about today? Now that I've stolen the biggest news story of the day.
Oh, well, that's pretty much it. What did you talk about? Obviously, NES. How big were the raises? How much did you guys cut? We talked a little bit about that. State of the state last night. The vouchers, that's back out there. Good, bad, and who's actually getting the vouchers? How many people are actually getting them, and where are they going? Is it the poor? Is it the, hey, our kids are already in private school, so this is nice. So we're going to talk a bit about that. And then we've got some other wacky stuff. It's Hot Take Tuesday, baby.
You know where the vouchers are going, right?
Up the butt?
Muslim schools. It's true. It's true. The school voucher program, it is taking your tax dollars and funding Islamic schools in the state. Not a fan. Chad will talk about it next. 12 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.